Ain't nothing worse than a smart dumb.
Hey yo! Hey yo! Hey yo! Hey
So, so welcome everybody to the Smart Dumb Podcast. We got another episode coming. Like, I think one of the beauties of just, being an artist and being active in the scene is like just even traveling is just doing what we do. You get around and get to meet like-minded people with their own story and their own background. And so what we had today is somebody who I just had the pleasure of meeting a few weeks ago, and a fellow artist, a singer, and we're going to get to know her full story. Do you prefer to be you artistically, you like to be known as Juice?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So Juice, welcome to the show. And please,
Thanks for having me.
absolutely a pleasure. So I know this one gonna be energy. So please definitely let us know about yourself. We're gonna tell the story for sure today. So
Okay, yeah, say less. So Juice, like you said, since you started off with my name, it is Juice, like the beverage. But on all streaming platforms, it's Juice with a heart. So a heart like before the emojis, Pac-Man and a 3. And that's just because I just wanted love built into my name, because I feel like that's what music is for me. That's what artistry is for me. So yeah, good
very
stuff.
good. Very good. So hailing out of where?
Buffalo, New York.
Okay. All right. Buffalo, New York. Yeah. So even that was cool to realize later. Like grad school, I was in upstate New York for a little while. And then, to learn that was you, because I didn't meet you in Buffalo. I met you in Phoenix. That was wild.
Very cool.
Yeah. So very nice. So okay, so yeah, tell us about your art, your singing. Like when did that start?
So but like I said a little bit prematurely before, um, music has been a part of my life since I was a little kid. My mom sings, my grandmother was part of the choir, my brothers had a rap group. So yeah, I was always surrounded by music. Mom's the type, she cleaning, she's sweeping, Whitney Houston is playing, and my mom has a beautiful voice. So yeah, it was just something that was embedded. Brown Sugar, watching the movies, like how they fell in love with hip hop. I'm like, I think this is me.
That's what's
you
up.
know.
It's a really good movie too. I'm glad that was an inspiration to somebody, because that was a really dope movie. Yeah.
For sure.
So that's those are good examples. What are a few more? And that's fire to have family be part of the some of the inspirations. What are a few more examples? Like what was inspirational for you?
To be honest, it was like the music that I was listening to. I'm trying to put myself in like little Jessica Juice's. My real name is Jessica.
Mhm.
that just came up, but like in Lil Jessica's mind. And like what I was listening to back in the day, there was a lot of Chris Brown, like the Forevers. I really loved Mariah Carey. You know what I mean? Like those little bops, because I feel like the Mariah Careys and the Whitney Houstons, like their prime was before I could talk. You feel me? Respectfully. So but I love that music, and then they would come out with like little hits. You know what I mean? Like current, but that's not like where their fan base, their core fan base came from. It came from Hero and all that stuff. But like hearing the newer versions of that, but how the vocal, like the integrity of the vocals and just how beautiful it sounded. I used to like challenge myself if I can hit those notes. And I feel like that's where my love from it kind of stemmed, because I was like growing and developing my voice, but it was also like a comfort to me at the same time, like listening to the music.
Okay, very nice, very nice. Yeah. Okay. When do you feel like when did you really like feel like you started and you realized like, okay, this is me. This is what I'm trying to get into?
To be honest, do you want the long story or the short story?
We are here. I got this couch. What's up?
Nah, cause to be honest, so I said that my brothers had a rap group.
Mm-hmm.
So they were pursuing music in high school. Like they was performing at talent shows, handing out their CDs. I remember me and my mom used to help them like put the sticky note on the CD back in the day when that was the thing.
Right.
But yeah, so they was in the grind while I was like really young. And I always just remember thinking, and like so that was like their younger areas, but as life starts life and you turn into an adult and that's still your dream, I kind of saw a lot of the realities of what being an artist looked like.
Okay.
And I feel like that deterred me a little bit because I'm a real rational person. Like I'm not the type of person that just be doing stuff to do it. You feel me? Like I gotta have a solid plan. This gotta make sense realistically, in my life. And I've always been like a nerd. So it was like the math and sciences, like those came really natural to me. So I'm like, I want to help people. That's always been on my mind, is like part of my purpose, like helping people. So I'm like, I'm gonna be a doctor. So my big master plan is like, I'm gonna be a doctor. I'm gonna tell you the whole plan.
Go for it.
And now I'm like, I'm gonna be a doctor, and then I'm gonna move to Atlanta, and start my own practice. You feel me? And then once I'm financially stable and making multiple streams of passive income, I'm going to pursue my dreams as a musician. And yeah, and then life lived, and when you're called to something, it happens the way it's supposed to happen. So here we are. So it wasn't like from high school like my brothers, but in college, to answer your actual question, in college, I started writing music again in college because them little fuckboys was breaking my heart.
That's real though.
No, for real, for real.
Mm-hmm.
And I just needed a release,
Right.
and that was always a comfort to me as a child. So yeah, so I started writing again, and I wrote a couple of songs, but the song "My Morals," I mentioned that in one interview, but the song "My Morals," that was the first song that I made that was just like, oh, like I might actually do this. Like in real life. And maybe it's not something that I should, wait until life or like society's definition of ready is. Maybe I should just pursue it and see where it takes me, type stuff.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice.
Sure.
So yeah, how important is the songwriting aspect from the standpoint of, does it for you, is it like the songwriting is as important as the singing? Would you see yourself one day writing and having that be for other people? Like what does that fit in for you?
Okay, so dang, like I don't know why my brain keeps on taking me the long route. Like just say what you need to say. Why am I like this? But but so yeah, songwriting is very important to me. Let's start with your question. Songwriting is very important to me because, like, as I mentioned, it's how I like release. Like,
Right.
my music comes from whatever's on my mind emotionally, whether it's something I'm experiencing now or something I've experienced in the past. So, and good music, that's what I listen for. Like, don't get me wrong, I feel like music is an entire experience. I feel like music is an entire experience. So, yeah, like it should be in the melody, it should be in the beat, but I feel like lyrics is what connects us. You feel me? As human beings, like what you've been through, what I've been through, type shit. So yes, very much lyrics oriented. And I could definitely see myself songwriting. That was actually, like, as I was tiptoeing my way into the industry, like I said, I didn't see it as a viable career for a quick minute. But also another thing that was deterring me was that I don't like being the center of attention.
Okay.
Like, yeah, like and it was from years and years of insecurities that I've unpacked. Love that for
Mm-hmm.
me, thank you, Lord.
Mm-hmm.
But
Shout out. Yeah.
but yeah, so I just didn't like to be that exposed. So I could never see myself like on a stage singing to people and just being a spectacle. So I felt like if anything, because I'm like, I'm writing this stuff and I feel like it's fire, humbly. Because I don't make music that I wouldn't listen to or that I don't like. I'm
Mm-hmm.
personally connected to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm just like somebody needs these songs. Like I'll write it for somebody else. And if that's like to make money off of doing that for the rest of my life, like yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So then how did you, yeah, so what was that like? And I think I'm always glad that people uh, share that part that the confidence building has come along, to where it's like it didn't necessarily just wake up, like that, and then that lets people know there was a journey to get there that they can do as well. So what how did we get from, because when you're saying that, that reminds me, I guess, of like Issa Rae, for example. She did a lot of writing, and then it was like, yeah, no, we need you need not you need you to play the
Yeah.
characters. You know what I mean? So how did you realize, like, oh no, let me get, out of some of the comfort zone and make that me the one that's presenting the art as well?
So I feel like that's been like a really long process. And
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't just centered around music, because I feel like I started that journey before. And I feel like it's crazy how like in your life, I feel like God gives you like he gives you revelation in like little baby steps. You feel
Mm-hmm.
me? Like he's not just gonna pop out like, yeah, so it was all the trauma from blah 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 blah, and that's why you're fucked up. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
It's like baby steps. So I feel like in high school, I was like most artists, I was always not necessarily like kind of like the weird girl, because it was such an awkward thing, because like I kind of like was mixed. I mixed and mingled with everybody, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't belong anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You
Okay.
know what I mean? Like
Sure.
so it's like still the odd person out, but
Yep.
so that was the vibe. But that left me feeling like there was no place for me, which I feel like was kind of like the root of some of that insecurity that I've been unpacking.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, so I started like the first step was me realizing like I didn't want to feel like this. I don't like having anxiety everywhere I go and feeling like people that don't care about my existence right now are picking me apart. Like, what is she wearing? What is she doing? Blah 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 blah. So weird. you know? So
Right.
I feel like I had to realize I didn't want to feel like that anymore. Like that's nuts. That's ludicrous to walk through life like that. So I just started doing things that would get me out of my comfort zone, like going to Walmart in my pajamas. And like singing has always been a thing for me. So I used to like when I go into Walmart, like I like my headphones on, I like singing, and I'm like, I used to be so self-conscious, like this is not politically correct. Like you're not supposed to be doing this, but I'm like, fuck this. I'm in my pajamas, walking down the aisle because that's who I am. Like,
Right.
so I just started like owning who I was little by little.
Basically.
Um, yeah. And those are the beginning stages. And I feel like in this like most recent stage, I feel like God, not to, I'm not sure what your beliefs
Oh
are and stuff
no,
like
talk all
that,
about it. Yeah, talk all about it.
but period too. But
Yeah.
I feel like my connection with God in this phase of my life has been so powerful. So
Mm-hmm.
powerful for me, like really stepping into my purpose and understanding that no matter what I've been through, no matter what I've experienced, like I can be everything that I am, and that like there's purpose in it. Like
Mm-hmm.
my pieces, there's purpose in my pieces. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So just
Okay.
bring everything that I have and lay it out and see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Purpose in
So
my
yeah.
pieces. All right. About to
Mm-hmm.
steal that. I'm gonna let them know I got it from you. Though. It's all good.
No, actually, I feel like I fake stole that from Sarah Jakes Roberts. So
So
we're recycling.
we
We're
handled it off.
recycling.
Salute to that.
But
That's funny.
yeah.
That's real nice. So what is so I mean, how have you noticed that along the path of, walking in your purpose and, kind of slowly becoming comfortable and and finding your identity that has brought you around other people in the same, kind of having their same journeys and things along that nature.
So you, like, how do I feel about that?
Has that been the case?
Oh yeah, of course.
Uh-huh.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
sorry, that might not have been as I didn't mean it like that the way it came out.
You're good. You're good. Go by. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead with wherever that was leading you. Go ahead. You all right?
Mhm. But yeah, so now I'm getting out, I'm doing shows, I'm doing stuff here and there, and it's an artist showcase, their lineup. So you're surrounded by all people that create music, and
Yeah.
and art, like even not even just music, but there'll be somebody like painting on the side, and just vendors, so people that are creating products, and just like a bunch of creative energy. I feel like creativity naturally is attracted to each other because we need safe spaces to express that, since usually it's not the norm. You
Right.
feel me? So yeah, definitely met a lot of creative people. Yeah, definitely met a lot of creative people.
Very
For
good.
sure.
Very good.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So the first, like, your first projects that were made available, actually put out, actually, for because I was like, was there a general theme there? Like, was there I keep saying identity, but was there a style or a theme there that was there that that later on may be distinct? Like, what was the first one about?
Oh, so my moral stuff, or like an actual project that I released, because I ain't released half of the songs that I have.
Oh, okay, okay. So
Yeah,
I
like
I'm thinking like, whatever has been like the very first things that someone can actually go and find. Like,
oh,
was
okay.
there, if that applies, like, does that make
Yeah.
sense? Okay.
Yeah, I
So,
feel you. So it was definitely R&B. You
okay.
feel me? And it was coming. So the first project I put out is called No Love Lost. And I feel like my music, I try to incorporate, well, not in the songs themselves, but like I usually do like a little spoken word intro,
Mm,
just so like to set the tone, like, because I feel like my projects, when I package them up, it's like, this was my mindset at this time. Like, this
okay.
was the mental space that I was in. So here's the little prelude, and then you can hear the music so that you can relate the music to the mental space type shit. So No Love Lost. I like that project was about a breakup that I had. Did a lot of self-discovery, but it was pretty much me coming to like peace with it. Like, this was rocky, this was ups and down, like really up and down, out of the eye of the storm now. Or oh, that was one of the things. What was it? But yeah, I found peace in the eye.
Mm,
I, cause what was it? I'm trying to remember the actual words, but it's just like, thank you for, like, I've weathered a storm, and I found peace in the eye. Nevertheless, like you should listen to it. You should listen to it, because I can't recall it straight off the top of my head. But
all right. Mm-hmm.
that like that that's what it was about. It was about, like, I weathered a love that was like a storm. Um, and now that I'm in the silence after the calm after the storm, like there's no bad blood, like there's no love lost, because I loved you with everything I had. You
Mm-hmm.
feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like once you have peace with that in yourself, that there can't be any animosity,
Mm.
because I don't regret anything.
That's
So yeah.
it's very mature.
I
That's very,
try my best.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
even be trying to be mature. I just don't want to carry none of the bullshit with me.
Right, right. And
So
sometimes, right, right. And I like that too. It's not even so much about, wholesome to everybody else. It's like for your long-term growth. Like, this is
mhm.
what makes the most sense, right? Because
Yep, for
yeah,
sure.
for sure. Once you get there, there's that point where it's like this person, this situation, and this person should not still be living having so much real estate in my head, like for the individual. Like so that's a good way to go about it. And even just the the self-reflection, like self-accountability, because that's really the most you can do about whatever X situation. What you can, what are you doing?
What did I bring to the table?
Right.
You feel me? Right. And respectfully, a lot of the times I brought an angel of the Lord himself. I'm just kidding. I did it. No, I didn't. That's
definitely set me up for the okey doke there.
Said by every toxic person ever. Yeah, for sure.
Right.
But
never us.
But nah, I'm a certified lover girl, so I usually lead with love, and if it don't work out, it don't work out.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So, that particular project, when was that? When was that available?
It was October 2021.
Okay, yeah. Now I was like, what time? What was the weather? I'm just kidding. You act like I was really making you.
I'm like, if you want me,
like hold the fuck right.
I don't know if I remember all that now.
You good? All right. So about October 21. Very nice. Very nice. So what?
Yeah, I actually released it on my birthday.
Oh, okay.
20. That's why I remember specifically October 2021, because I released it on my birthday.
Very good. Okay. All right. Very nice. So then, okay, before we, like, I think these two go hand in hand. So you already mentioned there's a lot of unreleased, work that's there. It's just not, you haven't, ready, you don't want to, you don't feel like it's time, whatever the case may be. How do you feel like, okay, now it's time for whatever's next? And I kind of want to slide down. I don't mind asking them in a second again, but what was the next, transition or project, as you're figuring out, okay, how do I know I was here, but now I want to do this? Those are like two questions.
Okay. So the first one, can we double back to the first one real quick?
Absolutely. So in general, what is like the kind of process that lets you know, like, here's where I'm going to shift
when I'm ready to release it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to try to sandwich it. but yeah, so I feel like I'm gonna answer the second question first, because I feel like it'll make the first one make more sense.
Okay.
So when it comes, like, unfortunately, as an artist, specifically a music artist, I'm not sure if the same applies to poetry or any other art, but I feel like, unfortunately, it's important to get the people's attention. Do you see how that just sucked the soul out of my body? It's important to get the people's attention. Yeah. So but to be honest, it was a blessing in disguise, because that's why I love this project so much, because it has such a emotional a personal connection to me. Because I wrote the Juicy. It came out of, because my brother's in the music industry now, no longer in a rap group, but still very much a musical genius. And he was telling me, like, yeah, these songs are like really good, but nobody's gonna listen to them because they're too slow. You know what I mean? Like you need something that you can play on the radio. And of course, it was with respect to my art. He wasn't just like, you're a piece of shit, but he was just trying to, be real with me straight up. You feel me? And that's the reality. So I started challenging myself, because I had never, you got to think, like, if you're writing sad girl music, you listen to the sad girl beats. Like, I think I at a point I was typing in sad R&B type beat, like, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's just, I had never written to anything else. So I started listening to different beats, and I found out that I'm a rapper. Like, pretty much. I'm not a rapper. I will never claim to be a rapper, but, like, depending on the beat, like, it comes like that. You feel me? And yeah, so that's how I switched to, like, the more up-tempo R&B genre. But I am by no means abandoning my roots. Like, so the next project I want to release, I'm going to release a couple singles, but the next project is going to be kind of like a mesh of the two.
Okay.
So it's going to be like a lot, like, I want it to be a longer project. Right now, the two EPs that I released, they have like 4 and 5 songs. So they're not super long, easily digestible. Sorry, I did not have to do that.
But you did though. It wouldn't have been you if you wouldn't have done
that. Right.
That's
But yeah, so this all like those songs from back in the day, like I had 4 different EPs before, like I didn't even release Crybaby. So No Love Lost and Juicy, like I made all these songs like 4 different EPs before I even made No Love Lost. Because like I said, I've been doing music since college, right? So I was writing like these little projects. Like I said, they're like clumps of mindsets. Like this is the space that I was in. This is the space that I was in. Oh, 4 songs. You feel me? So I had all those and then broke up with old man and I wrote No Love Lost and then I wrote Juicy, like it's completely new. So there's a whole like 4 different EPs that are just not touched. So for the next big project that I release, I'm gonna just combine like all of them. And then with some new songs that I've written too, that way you get a sense of like the original like No Love Lost type of vibes because they're kind of in that lane. But like more where I am right now, where I'm okay with being on the stage and talking my shit and you know what I mean, and coming a little bit harder too. So I just wanted to be all encompassing of who I am as an artist.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. So my what I've heard so far is the Juicy EP as well as it was a Barbie cover and then so I don't know what the Doja Cat song cover was, but yeah.
Attention.
Okay, with Attention is so those, yeah, no, your lyricism and your rap ability of the non-rapper is definitely there. So no, I'm, and I
Giving a
think,
little something.
yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. And it's like I think like from, what you heard from me, like that's definitely my calling card is wordplay. So,
Yep.
that was it's definitely I definitely respect it. I hear the pen for sure. And I like what you do there. But yeah, you hit notes. You definitely your notes, I don't have those. So you are definitely a singer as well.
Thank you very
No
kindly. I
question.
appreciate you.
Yeah,
Nah,
no question
but
there.
and that means everything from because when I tell you, listen, I'm a big person, like I said, on lyrics and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So like I love a good analogy. I love how like all the word puzzle. And I was just listening to you talk. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta get his Instagram or something because like it was just too dope. Like I
I
appreciate
appreciate yeah.
lyricism. I mean, it's not lyrics, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's the same
Nah,
shit.
much, yeah, definitely humbling. Definitely humbling. Yeah, no, as I mean, and I think, yeah, just briefly on that, that was a homecoming. That was my, when I very first got into poetry, it was home based 13 years ago, off and on and writing. So to come back around, that was like a homecoming of like, here's what I have taken with what y'all spent lots of years helping, pouring into
Right.
me.
Full
You know what I
circle.
mean? So to get to do that, and for the people that had seen me, and then for people like have never seen me before, and that was
Just happen to
that
be
was
there.
yeah, that's fire.
I thought it was
That's
an open mic night for singing.
fire.
I thought I was gonna get up there and perform a song.
Yeah. So
That was the impression.
I
That's
got
why
you.
we were there, and I was just like, I don't think that's the vibe, but it was a dope experience nonetheless. So
Okay,
I
well
think
that's
everything
good.
happens the way it's supposed to,
I'm
for
glad
sure.
it. I'm glad it still worked out for sure. Definitely glad it still worked out. Made sense on your end.
Yeah.
So then what what is feeling like the evolution? What do you feel like is oh never mind. You just said that. Do you have an idea? I'm not gonna pigeonhole you to an actual release date because that's like we can't be doing that to artists, products and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. But like around when do you feel, like this next part, this, there's a combination of everything. Here's, when do you feel
Okay,
like that's
so I'm not gonna lie. I like putting a date on it just because it forced me to like hold myself to it because
Mhm.
I'm kind of like a competitive person, even though that seemed like it it don't got nothing to do with competition. But it's just like if I say I'm gonna do something, like I'm gonna do it type
I
shit.
got
Like
you.
like
Yeah.
that's like it's a competitive spirit type stuff.
Right.
Probably probably a little ego involved in that. I don't know. But yeah, I think it's a
Right.
positive. So
Depends on how it's manifested. Yeah.
exactly, yeah. We definitely keep it humble over here. So it ain't no, you feel me,
Hmm.
King Kong stuff.
Hmm.
But yeah, so I was shooting for around the New Year time.
Okay. Okay.
So in the next couple of months, it shouldn't be too far out. I want to give the singles that I drop in between a little bit of time to breathe. And then yeah.
Okay. Okay. And I wanted to address that too. You had mentioned that, right? As far as like, with this being so, such an integral part of your purpose, your passion. Like, yes, there's a lot more. There's politics in the industry, as I know you know way more than me with your brother and how much he's involved. So when you mentioned like, yes, having to, right, there's just the catering that has to, the
Mm-hmm.
tailoring it to the audience, like that's just a necessary evil. My privilege is, and
I
this is
love
why
touring.
people, yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, my friend, no, you're good. My privilege is I don't eh, like people that know me know the talent is there, but like a lot ask me like, is it gonna be full time for me? I said no, because that's the part that I don't have in me. You know what I'm saying? To put up
The
with too much
business,
more.
politics.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't have it. It's like
Nice.
you said, go
Yep.
ahead.
Nothing.
so,
Continue.
so, so, so it's and I guess, one of my friends was like, I mean, but that's everywhere. And I'm like, no, that's the point. So I'll stick with what I've already figured out, like the politics I already figured out in my professional career. Like that took years to get there. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Okay.
so it's like I, with that being said, I have the privilege then to just do what I want, understanding that I'm trading that for, I could be here, or here, but I'm choosing to just stick with,
Exactly. The freedom that comes with not having to acquiesce to the
there it
man.
is. There it is. There it is.
I
But,
feel you.
and that's the trade-off. As long as I'm willing to deal with the consequences and I'm okay with that. But then somebody else who's trying to take it a step further, like this is what has to be done for yourself, for your future, for the legacy. And that's
Mm.
also fine as well.
Hear you, Pooh, for
You
sure.
know. So
I feel like I'm actually like really blessed in that respect because I like both sides kind of.
yeah.
Like I don't like the politics per se, but one thing I'm so happy because I feel like at first I was like I told you I didn't feel like I was cut out for it specifically because there's too much of that. You
Hmm.
feel me? Like what comes with centers, oh, you have to be politically correct about this. And I don't mind being politically correct, but I feel like there's something about somebody having a certain level of control over me as a person that I don't like.
And
Then
sit
again, it was
well with
that on top of the insecurity stuff. It was just this is probably not the career for me, you
you.
know? But as far as like I like being like having my hands in all parts of creativity.
Hmm.
And like I'm and I like business too, like negotiating and like all that stuff. So I feel like yeah, like you don't know that. Why did I was gonna say like you know that. But like when it comes to my artistry, like I make the songs and like I try to be like involved in like the mixing and mastering process. Like I'm learning how to mix and master, and like I do like all the visualizers that I drop from my project. Like I conceptualize them and executed. Not the best because I'm not a professional, but like I like doing that.
Yeah.
I just like creation in all of its forms,
Nice.
and I feel like seeing it through to completion is one of my things. So any aspect of seeing it through to completion, like I'm cool with because I feel like it's all creation. It's something out of nothing type shit.
Absolutely.
So, so
I
yeah.
hear
So
that. I hear that.
and like
But,
another thing with oh sorry, my bad.
go ahead.
But as far as like the politics side too, another thing, which I feel like it's all the same lesson, which is like I love that there's something about like the harmony of the lessons that we learn and like the repeated ones and all this stuff, like you realize it's all connected, like it's all the same shit. But it's the same thing with like the boardroom and stuff like that. Like stuff that would actually give me anxiety is just like, no, just be yourself. That's it. I'm never gonna be any other way. I'm probably gonna do this in the boardroom because why the fuck not? Like, you know, and if it brings freedom back into something that's supposed to be constricting or that's normally seen as that. Because no, I'm gonna be who I am, and not only am I gonna be who I am, but I dare you to try to play me like I'm a fool because I know what I'm talking about.
Right.
You feel me? So yeah.
Yep. They're going, and they'll get humble because a lot of people, there's a lot of, as I feel like, there's a lot of outward appearance judging, like trying to paint a whole picture on somebody just off of 5 seconds, 3 seconds of looking, 1 sentence and shit like that. So it's definitely weird. I think part of the whole bouncing a meeting. I saw somebody post a meme that was like they were in a in a work meeting and they said spin the block accidentally, and then even worse than getting in trouble is the colonizers tried to co-opt it. Now they just been using it.
Oh, no, they integrated it into the work culture. That's nuts.
And it's using it all kind of wrong.
That's a new terminology. So
yeah.
I'm just gonna spin the block on that last concept, Tom.
Her the last email. What? That's crazy.
That's not your line.
No, right? Yes. And then how do you get the back off of it? It's like what she said. It's gone.
And then if you do, there's a whole nother thing because I say it.
Right. Yeah. It's not even.
Sally.
So that's good, but it's and there's true actual power in the authenticity of because there's only so much, and I think that's what it is. So yeah, there's only so much that pretending can get you, and that's like like the code switch. Code switch is not necessarily code switch is us bringing out who we actually are. You know what I mean? So that's not being fake. That's just like I know you have your science and math background. That's actually my same strengths too. So like we took all these classes, done all this reading and all these types of things. We have that there, but then there's also the cultural identity. So there are more than one piece. And I guess that's the problem. It seems like code switching seems like some big deal because society wants to box Black people, to be one way. And so it's not that there's more layers. It's like, well, what the hell is going on? You just supposed to do this one thing.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like we do it. It might be controversial, but I feel like we do that to ourselves too. Because like a lot of the times, like you got to think, like you go to college, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like college, it just kind of like prunes you, like to keep on like digging and doing research. So, but either way, no matter where you go, not just college, you're surrounded by something enough, you get a new language or you expand upon your language, right? And you go back home and it's just like, oh, you're acting different. You feel me? So yeah, I feel like society does do that as well. But to be honest, I feel like, let me just say how it is. I feel like white people are perfectly fine with the code switch. They don't care about it. I feel because they're like, like talk to me as long as you're communicating effectively, they chilling. I feel like we usually make a problem with, oh, why are you this way in front of them, but this way in front of, I'm like, I'm just being using what I got. You feel me? But it gotta be a problem. It is what it is. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I've observed.
I like that you even brought that up. How much do you feel like you're still able to grow and progress and still be where you're from, or is it starting to become a point that the evolution may involve getting away from the current the environment that raised you?
You know what's crazy? I always say this whenever somebody asks me where I'm from, I say nowhere. I'm a nomad. Now I know that's gonna sound nuts to some people, right? I'm not talking about I don't have family, whatever. Like that's not what I'm talking about. But like, because of that whole oddball out thing that I was telling you, like that was like universal across a couple different things. Like I'm the black sheep of my family, problematic as hell, because the shit that used to fly, it just don't make sense to me. Like I gotta say something. I do. You know what I mean? So like my childhood was very much like to myself. And my mom was also like didn't really, she was protective of us. So I'm not going to games and, I'm not being a kid in the way where I'm like socially interacting with everybody. Like, I don't know what's what about what. I find out when it's in my presence directly, but I wasn't there on Saturday night. I don't know. I just know apparently some shit popped off. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah. So I feel like that being my reality, it just makes me feel like I've never had a choice but to be anything but myself, because when I went to school, it was just like, she don't really belong here. And to be honest, I wasn't really trying to fit in, which is why I feel like I was such a sore thumb, because I've always been the type of person, like, if it don't make sense to me, like, I'm just not gonna do it. Right. You feel me? Right. So if you tell me that me singing is weird and I'm like, okay, still gonna sing though. Be mad if you want, but definitely singing. And then now I'm the annoying girl that sings, but I'm like, for sure, that is exactly who I am. And the same thing in my family. You're not supposed to, blah, blah, blah. But that doesn't make sense. I'm gonna be exactly who I am. So I feel like because of like that was my reality. I don't know. Like I just feel like I've always just been this. So hopefully nothing changes that. Hopefully nothing changes that.
For real. Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm a full proponent of it. It seems like you realized that lesson and got to that epiphany long before I did.
Soon.
So I'm, I fully support and applaud all that. And of course, yeah, they all these actions have consequences, right? Going decades and being what, following along what everybody else wants you to be is also going to have their own set of obstacles that person's going to have to deal with, right? So it's just, yeah, which part of the journey, which journey are each of us willing to deal with, what comes along with what that path is. It's not necessarily this is the right one. It's just everybody's got to, find
right.
theirs.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I said, everybody got their own like series of lessons. I feel like I always smile when I talk about shit like that, because I'm just like, it's so cool, like that everybody's just on their own journey, and like what might look weird. That's why I don't judge. Like what it is, what it is. I don't like I might see somebody, like I see some traits that I'm like, oh, that's probably rooted in this, or that's probably, but like that's their journey. They're gonna learn what they need to learn if they decide that they want to learn.
Sure.
Period.
Yeah.
Like, you feel me? So it's just a cool process. But I was gonna say something and just. So what's next?
Maybe it comes back. It's all good.
Maybe.
All right. So it's like, yeah, we did origin, we did getting into it. We know what's next. I mean, you done. So it seemed like so. This recording is end of July, and
Okay.
it seemed like there's been quite a few shows that you've done this month. How? What is this? Was this a lot more than normal? Was this around how many you normally? Like, what kind of month did this seem like?
Definitely more. Like
Okay.
I've been kicking in the gear. I've been kicking into gear a lot more
Right.
as of late, just because I'm like, and that's what I'm saying. Like I love God, respectfully, like, because I don't know, it's just like the peace has like it like put my conviction on 100, because now I believe in myself. Like you can't really do nothing until you believe in yourself 100%. So like now that I know, like all I got to do is do everything that I can do, and everything else is just like, take me where you want me. Now I'm just gonna put it in everything I got. So I've been, networking a lot more, trying to see, like, get in where I can fit in and stuff on top of the content.
Right. Right. And
But
that's the beauty, right? And I guess that's what you were saying in general. Like, yeah, you're
yeah.
like you being involved in the whole process. It's not just the making the music itself. Like that's what probably what most
Mhm.
visible to everybody else. But just yeah, like you said, the network gonna pull it up on an event and thinking it was gonna be one way, seeing it something else, and embracing that regardless and
Yep.
making it work. You know what I'm saying? Making that work. Just
Exactly.
it's these are life. You know, the thing kind of what you were saying earlier that's profound is like some people um are have the tools and the awareness to pull the story and the lesson from more situations
Yeah.
sooner than others. It's just, you know, and like you said, it's on there. So hopefully some of the others, like where this previously was a struggle, like they're going to start getting more comfortable. Sometimes it's the ignorance is bliss. They don't want to do better.
Hmm.
But some people are, you know, have that privilege, like they're on 10 right now with the like, oh, this is connected to this, whether somebody else knows this or not. I see it. I can apply this here type thing. And you're able to find growth in way more opportunities. Like, you know, again, sometimes, you know, sometimes it's there for other people. Sometimes like the timing of when I have this awareness, you know, at where I am these days versus 10 years ago, it wasn't really there yet because I was growing. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So that's definitely also a good thing. It's also a good thing. But see that, and that comes back to your because it didn't take long. It was like it was like a very general conversation. It was like, oh no, there's a lot of intelligence over there, you know, like for sure. And it's not even yeah, and it's not even like and not even on some like not surprising. So let's not, you know, for sure, but also
It's
not
okay
like
to be
out
surprising.
outlandish, you know, or like I wanted like the reason I'm being like this is because I want to announce like no, it was just
To
your
let you know that I'm
yeah,
intelligent. Oh my
yeah, no, it's just a
people
being.
like if you want to see me have a fun time in the comments, you should see some of my DMs because it's just like okay, you know, because people say like I post a lot of stuff about like stuff that I'm thinking of like mental growth and stuff like along that line.
Right,
And there's always somebody who wants to debate just for the sake of debating.
right,
I love a good conversation. You feel me? If you want to have a conversation, and it respectfully, it be the men. It do be the men.
I
That's just
do.
like once they get a rebuttal, it's like their earth shatters. They start twitching, like what's going on? You have an opinion, and you're not submitting to mine.
Right,
What? And it's
right,
just like I'm telling you, and you could like they start bringing out the biggest words in the dictionary because in their mind that makes their argument more valid. And I'm just like, this is so interesting.
right, right.
But yeah, those personality types really. I'm trying to get out of feeling the need to entertain because at a certain point, like I done got. I guess cursed. I was cursed by a youngster. It didn't work. It didn't work.
So that profanity, like they try to put a root on you.
No, for real. Like, how dare? And meanwhile, this man done called me out of my name, all that stuff, and I just read him for exactly what I saw. It's giving inflated ego, with not a lot of knowledge to back it up. And when I said that, oh my gosh, you will not disrespect me in the name of. I said, what's that? I don't. I rebuke all that in the name
I
of
don't know what you
Jesus.
said.
Oh hell no!
That's crazy. That's
Yeah,
crazy. Yep.
but it's definitely hilarious and entertaining, but it never got to be all that.
Right.
It
Right.
never got to be all
Nah, internet bring out a whole different side of some folk for sure.
that.
Ain't even
Yeah.
so all right, so yeah, was there you know, definitely plenty covered plenty enough, definitely more than enough to see that there's
Yeah,
a
for
lot of
sure.
you know, multifaceted pieces of you, which I'm sure no doubt quite a few people are going to want to you know, tap into more. So first off, trying to back and forth with you. You know what now? So you know, on the kind of path towards concluding, like, is there anything that wasn't already explicitly covered that you feel like is important, that you wanted to share, want to get off your chest, all that? Just want to give you that floor.
I would just say maybe like the new EP. Mm-hmm. And I like I know I talked about like the root of it was I talked about like one side of the like the root of it, like how it came to be, but not necessarily like the revelation in it.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It's just me talking to me. So sorry. Mm-hmm. But yeah. So you know what it's inspired by? Did you listen to it?
I listened to Juicy.
That's my favorite song. That's all you need.
No, I listened to like that's the EP is called Juicy, right? The whole project, right?
Oh, you listened to the whole project?
Yeah.
Oh, cool beans. Yeah. What'd you think?
Yeah. So I think and that one described exactly what you did. Track 1 was the interlude. I think it was called the introduction. It was a spoken word piece.
The re-intro.
Yeah. I feel like there are one of 2 songs. You have to forgive me. It's like the second or third track are 2 songs that you've put into reels a few times.
Oh, yep.
Yeah,
Boss Baby and Talk to Me Nice. I've made a couple reels.
I feel like Boss Baby is like that's my standout. You know what I mean? Like that's
your favorite?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Mainly, I think if it's that, because it's the way, like the way that the way that the confidence is coming out, it just works. Like I'm like, all right, talk your shit. All right, go ahead.
Period.
I mean, so yeah, but no, that was cool with that EP. It was like 2 or 3, maybe 4. I think about 3. You also had some guests, as far as people that contributed to the project as well. So that was cool. Like some of them was just a full just you, and the other one was like, the other somebody else was involved. Yeah, yeah. So no, like that one, and yeah, it was 15, 20 minutes, 18, 20 minutes. So it wasn't like it was a dissertation, but no, I was entertained, like for real.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was just a little.
So now you did mean to do it. Earlier you weren't sure. You're like, what, fuck it.
Before it was just like, why are you like this? But might as well own it.
There you go. Right.
But yeah. But I'm glad that you the reason why I was surprised that you said Boss Baby is because I feel like with more up-tempo songs like that, people are mostly paying attention to the beat. Like, feel me? Like I write all my music. Like I said, lyrics is like number 1 for me. So if you listening to the song, like you gonna hear something.
Right.
You feel me? Whether it could be talking about an ancient nigga, it could be talking about the why life is the way it is, but and this EP was a little bit more lighthearted, but I'm still talking. Right. You feel me? So I feel like people just hear, I'm sorry, tell your mom I said I'm sorry, but her son's a bitch. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. And I'm like,
that's the only thing y'all got from that.
But yeah, but the only thing I wanted to really say about the EP is that, like I said, so it was inspired, like the name came from the Biggie song Juicy. Like if you don't know, now you know, and that's my favorite song on the album because it just gives and it's actually produced by Just Blaze. He's actually a Buffalo producer. And when I heard that beat, I was just like, oh, because like I said, I was doing more like up-tempo songs.
Yeah.
But like I was looking up like trap, like more trap vibes, like just to hear the 808s and really like something that you could bounce to. And when I heard that beat, it was clearly up tempo, but it was almost in like a 90s kind of hip hoppy way.
Right.
And I had never come on a beat like that once again, but I'm like, let me see like what I could get out of it. And because I love that era of music, like Bad, you feel me? And not even to say that I know every lyric to every Biggie or Tupac song like that. I've never digested full projects in my life, which is probably why nobody listens to my music. It's karma.
Be the change you want to be, right?
Nah, but but like I love like the spirit of that era of music,
Right.
and just how it was just more. It just wasn't doing too much, but it was still raw, and it was still like coming at you in a certain way that made you feel something. So so yeah, with Juicy. But so yeah, it's inspired by that song. And the Juicy song. I didn't even know that the name of the song was Juicy, but when I made that song, like I heard in the chorus, I think I was just like sampling, like if you don't know, now you know, would sound like really good in the chorus. And then when I looked up the song, the name of the song was Juicy.
Right. It was like, oh, wait a minute.
No way, no way.
Right.
Like it's perfect. It's aligned. Like it gotta be it. So,
right.
But the reason why I titled the EP that is because it's like a reintroduction, not even just reintroducing myself to people, but reintroducing myself to myself, because because I put a lot of can'ts. I can't do that. I can't be this. I can't step into that because that's too much. That's not me. That's not who I am. So, but nah, like I can be all that. You feel me? Like I can be all that. I just gotta allow myself to like tune everything out and just be. So yeah, so that's what it's about. The whole project, and I love everything in its own way. But that's the main reason why I love the project so much, because it's just like symbolic of that.
That's fire. That's fire. All right. So yes, there, for sure there y'all go. So definitely the Juicy EP is the most recent. It's out now. I got it on Spotify. It's probably out everywhere else. All the other streaming services that where you listen to your music, look her up. Like she is Juicy with the heart. The less than sign of the 3.
Cool.
Yeah,
before the emojis.
The Pac-Man 3. I like that.
3.
I like that. So where can people find you on social media outside of like searching the artist names for the music?
Copy. So right now my 2 main streaming or main social media platforms are Instagram. My only main social media platform is Instagram. I'm expanding. I'm expanding to Twitter and TikTok, but it's no tea, just juice on all of the social media platforms.
Right.
No tea, TEA, just juice.
Right.
No drama, just juice. No tea, just juice.
That is.
That's what it is.
That is.
A lot of people are confused by that. I feel like they think it's like the letter T. But that's me on everything.
All right, very nice. So there y'all go. So it's no tea, just juice on Instagram. It's juice the heart on the artist as the artist name, and where you can find her music. Go stream it, support it. Hey, it's truly been a pleasure. Like I said, I knew the energy was gonna be there. I knew the energy was gonna be there. I know the story was gonna be there. So it's definitely, dope to converse with you, to build and learn, just as be able to observe on my side, pick up some nuggets on my side. Stealing some of your lines is cool. I'm telling them I got
Sarah Jakes Roberts line.
Once again, it's not. That's too good. It's too good. So yes, definitely appreciate your time. Shout out to you, Juice. Definitely looking forward to what else you have going on the remainder of this year and going forward. I mean, and this was another episode of the Smart Dumb Podcast. I appreciate y'all listening. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great one.
Period.